Okay, you delightful individuals, we are back with another vlog. I was asked back in July whether I would be interested in being part of, well, a film festival. And I know what you're thinking, this isn't normally your bag, Val, what's going on? Well, they approached me and asked if I would be interested in helping them promote stuff, because obviously we do Ken, which is a big erotic cabaret, and they're doing some erotic film stuff in this event, as it were, in this film festival. So they were like, would you be interested in helping us promote it as somebody who's also interested in eroticism, that kind of thing? And I was quite tempted. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds very, very good. And then a little spark in my mind happened, and I was like, do you know what would be really, really cool? Is if, as well as me promoting the stuff that you're looking at doing, it would also be really cool if I could do something as part of it. Now, not normally one for film stuff, it has to be said. However, I am one for education. And with it being part of a film festival, I thought it would be a really good opportunity to do a seminar on the origins of pornography, which is an idea that I've had for like a YouTube video for a very, very long time. I've been doing the research, I've been piling everything together, where it all started, what was the most scandalous bit of cinema, and what the reaction was, and that kind of thing. So I realized that I could probably adapt all of that into like a more seminar format, and they agreed. So this is me and my journey with Unthinkable Film Festival, in the process of educating people about pornography in film. So tonight is the opening night, where they're doing the launch party in Humber Street Gallery, which is a bar near the River Humber, and there is an exhibition being done there by Cozy Fanny Tutu, which I have been told by everyone that knows them that I need to go. No matter what happens, I need to go to that exhibition. So that seems like a perfect opportunity to go to that exhibition and also be a part of the launch party. And then on Sunday, which by the time this goes out will be well in the past, I'll be doing my sex ed seminar, followed by a series of short erotic movies. It's been a whole thing, so I'll tell you all about it in a little while. But in the meantime, let's jump in the car and get ourselves to this launch party, shall we? I've just pulled up at the Humber docks, all of the boats and stuff. That's the marina, and now I'm gonna go out and go and find this place where all the films are gonna be.
But anyway, I do come back to Hull, but I've come back to see my family. But it is really special when I come back to show my work, because it did all begin here. And I always think if I wasn't born in Hull, and if I hadn't, you mentioned struggle, if I hadn't struggled right from day one, from being born in that era, through school, through high school, and then on the streets of Hull trying to do my thing, I don't think I'd ever be where I am now.
Okay, so I've just finished the launch event, which was all very, very interesting. Now you're lit by the car light. But I've just finished the launch event. It was great to go around the Cozy Fanny Tutu exhibition. It was also very good to see a lot of the experimental cinema, which was interesting because they've set the entire place out. I didn't really get a good shot of it today. I'll see if I can get a good shot on Sunday. But they set the entire place out with sofas. So like old sofas, so that everyone's nice and cozy and what have you, which is very, very cool in principle. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that rolls out on Sunday when we're doing our event. Also got to see the people that are organising it. Obviously I've spoken to them online, but not really spoken to them in person before, so that was really, really cool. And spoken to all the tech guys about all our tech stuff. So theoretically speaking, it should all be good. It should be ready to go. It should be all fun and games. I'm excited. I had a lot of good conversations today about the different dynamics around what it is I'm going to be talking about, what other people are doing across the film festival, and there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of interest, which I'm very excited about. And considering tickets are only like £3 as well, it'll be interesting to see if we sell out or not. Because after my event, there's going to be like an erotic screening of like art house erotic films from like 8 different thingies. I've got all the details in the Unthinkable thing. What's it called? Program. Yes, it's going on across a whole load of days. But I'm excited. It's going to be good. It's going to be interesting. And now I need to go home and sit and listen to a whole load of blinky plonky 1800s, 1900s music, so that I can make some description of playlist for when people are coming in and listening to everything, you know, that kind of thing. Oh, I definitely stayed far longer than I was meant to. Okay, I think I'm ready. I have just got all of my stuff together. I have run the entire seminar. I think it's going to last between half an hour and 40 minutes. Got all my bits and pieces sorted on the laptop. Gathered all a box of stuff, a crate of things to make the place look a little bit more bougie, just because I'm a pretentious twat and I can't just walk into a cinema space full of sofas and just be happy with that. I want to create a bit of ambience. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing a talk on something. I want to create a bit of ambience, a little bit of atmosphere. But that's just kind of the person that I am, you know. So now I'm going to put my face on, and then I'm going to go to my friend Lilia's house. I'm going to pick up some flyers and leaflets for the events that we're doing, like the Halloween event and the next Ken event and stuff like that. And then I'm going to go to the venue and start getting everything ready. However, I think there's like another event happening beforehand. I think there's like another cinema screening of a sort before us. So I don't know what time that finishes. But now, FaceTime. Not FaceTime, as in time to put my face on. Hold it right there. You didn't think that just because I was talking about my seminar that you'd be able to see it immediately, did you? Good Lord. You need to work your way up to that. Ease your way into it, as it were. So let me show you the rest of the festival first, and then I can show you what we got up to. Okay, so I didn't have the time to film before I started. It was all very much get here, get in, get all the bits and pieces. But this is the room. I wanted to take a moment to appreciate the room. This is where everyone was sat on comfortable sofas, feeling very good and glorious. And then over here, I had my little table and my setup and everything like that. I had all the bits and pieces. And then this big white wall is where we displayed all of the stuff. The whole talk went so unbelievably well. It was so good. I really, really enjoyed it. And I managed to condense it down to 35 minutes, which I was really worried it was going to be 45 minutes. So I'm really glad that I managed to condense it down to 35 minutes. Then I saw the 18 plus Unthinkable erotic collection. That they have curated together, and it was so good. It was really, really good. It was 8 short erotic films. There were some that made me feel deeply uncomfortable, some that were fucking hilarious, and some that really brought out some real base emotions. It was not porn. It was art house eroticism. And I loved it. It felt very good in my little soul. Also, the wonderful Keaton, who is the organizer of the film festival, was very, very complimentary of my talk and said that they'd like to take it to other places and they're going to put my name forward, which is really kind of them. I kind of did it just because I wanted to do the talk. I kind of wanted to do this whole thing of a seminar, a proper talk in a thing, and the place was filled. It was all seats filled, and I'm really excited to see where this goes, you know. I'm gonna go and see a couple of the other screenings because there's some other bits and pieces that I've seen in the programme that have fascinated me a little bit. They've drawn into my soul, and I'm like, ooh, that sounds really interesting. So I've just got out of the screening with all of the animated ones. I managed to get there a little bit late, which was frustrating to say the least. Turns out that it's real busy around about this time of night when I'm driving here. So I got here a little bit late, pushed my way in like a rude individual. I didn't do it like a rude individual, I'm lying to you. But I was like, right, it's going to be interesting. Let's pop in, slide in at the back. No one will notice me, all incognito. And it was interesting. What a fascinating collection of stuff. There was some stuff that I was like, is this animated? There's like stop motion, but then that falls into animation. There's a lot of things in regards to like the terminology of cinema that I evidently don't know. The terminology of filmmaking that I evidently don't know. However, very, very interesting pieces. There were some pieces that I really wasn't a fan of. I was just like, okay, this isn't grabbing me. This isn't tickling my little dopamine receptors. But some of them were really good, and I was fascinated by it, just absolutely hypnotized by the stuff that was going on the screen. Some of them were tiny, real short, couple of minutes long. Some of them were like 20 odd minutes long, just real different eclectic mix of stuff. And now I have about 30 seconds before I have to pop in and watch what's next? Oh, there's a local group that have done a music video, and they've turned it around in like 2 weekends, like 4 days. So I'm intrigued by how that's going to go. And then after that, there's like a whole local film thing. So I'm going to try and get all of the local film stuff and see what happens. So let's go have a look at this music video, shall we? And now I am watching a music video all to do with the apocalypse. I've just got out of the music video thing, which was really interesting. Not my usual kind of music, very doom stoner metal. Great, like they were very talented and what have you. Not quite sure about some of the choices in it, but it was a very interesting thing. They had a really interesting selection of B-roll. It was all about nuclear apocalypse and stuff, which kind of worked really, really nicely with the music that was going on. It was a local band that I've not heard of, and a collection from a company called The Warren, which do a lot of like local stuff with like local bands and bits and pieces. Yeah, they turned it around in 4 days. So they had like 2 days of planning one weekend, then filming one day and editing the following day. So they did really, really well for what they had to do. There was a couple of bits in it where I was like, oh my god, the theme, the dynamics, the interesting things, and then they cut to the band playing, and the band playing in this tiny little room, and they weren't massively animated. It was like a really odd, like live gig type thing, which didn't work for me personally, but overall the music video was really, really good. I was actually really impressed with it, and especially considering it was made in 4 days and made by people who also didn't necessarily know the band, didn't necessarily know the music. It was all very, very, very interesting. And I've come outside specifically because it's getting... Oh, everyone's filtering in. Right, I need to go because they're doing the local film stuff. So I'll speak to you in a minute. Okay, I've just got out of the local showing, which showed all the local short films or what have you, and they were absolutely sensational. I was like, I've never really dipped my toe into film too much, but like, there's so much talent in the local area, and I've never even known it. Never even realised it. I'm quite flabbergasted. My gastids are flabbered. But afterwards, everyone was going out for a drink, and I was like, okay, I'll pop along, do all my socialising, do all the bits and pieces and what have you. But the actual screens that were shown today were really good. They were really, really good. They were lots of different like dynamics, some surrealism, some really dark stuff, and then there was like a Q&A afterwards, which I will show you stuff from now.
And it was meant to be a comedy filming. It started out as a dark comedy, which obviously wasn't the case. So.
It was meant to be naked.
Yeah, exactly.
There's very few people that would do that.
The amount of fact that the male actors asked if they just get their kit off, and they were like, oh no.
Yeah, we shot my entire film in an afternoon.
Wow.
The only extra shots was, do you know the shot of the pan where there's some like blood dripping?
Yeah.
That we came in and did some like pickups, that was it.
To me, Mark's one of the oldest, best kept secrets. His collection in his garage is just phenomenal. Like, it's better than most museums.
So as you saw, there was like stuff that was like meant to be comedy and then turned into dark stuff. Yeah, it was pretty heavy. Good, amazing, really enjoyed it, but heavy. I have surprisingly enjoyed all of this. Like, I love movie anyway. I love going to see movies and stuff, but it's nice to see like more raw talent. Not that it's any less polished or anything like that, but it's like more grassroots, more down to earth, more, I don't know, personable is probably a good word of putting it. I don't know, it's been a really interesting experience and a very eye-opening experience for me so far, so let's see how tomorrow is, you know. Okay, I've just pulled up on the Saturday. I've got to get in nice and quick because I'm really behind, and I have got to I've got to get in there and have a look at this thing that I agreed to do last night in the pub. I agreed to come down to this screening, which wasn't originally on my agenda, but here we are. Here we are. So let's go learn about sheep, shall we? I was not meant to be here today. I was not meant to be coming down to this screening because I have a million things to do. However, last night in the pub, I met the director of this documentary, Yantan Tetherer, which is all about sheep and the wool industry in the Lake District. I said that I would, I agreed that I would come and support and watch the movie and be there, and I'm a man of my word, for better or worse. I am a man of my word. There'll be a little less sleep, I think, over the next few days, but it was worth it. It was worth it. It was a very cozy, very down-to-earth. It wasn't a documentary. It was like an anthropology visual essay, almost, which was a fascinating look at the differences between that and documentaries, and a little bit more real, a little bit more cozy, a little bit more identifiable, personable. Yeah, personable is the word I'm looking for. It felt very real and raw and down to earth, and I liked that about it. So I'm glad, as much as I am sleepy and I've got a million things I need to do, I am glad that I turned up today to have a look at it. So that was good fun. I enjoyed that. That's fantastic. And this is it, grand finale time. I'm just making my way now to the Hull Truck Theatre, where the final celebration of the Unthinkable Festival is going to be taking place, where they're going to be doing all of the awards for all the different categories, and the audience choice category. From what I understand, there's going to be some big old directors and stuff. People not indicating, so I can't know whether they're coming or not. Yeah, some big old directors and stuff, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And there is just a pervading air of dog shit throughout the entirety of Hull today, it seems. I can smell his fucking dog shit. But I'm now just walking around the back. In fact, you see this building here? There used to be an old gay pub called the Star and Garter, and now it's all closed. That would go on till 4 a.m. Oh, the memories. It's been a long old week. It's been good though. It's been good fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's been nice to get to know the entire team and see how they feel about everything. So, yeah, here's on to it. Just come into the theatre space in Hull Truck. They've been scanning tickets and getting everything sorted. This isn't so. I'm sat here by myself. Everyone can see exactly what I'm doing, but it doesn't matter. I'm just documenting it all for processes and what have you. But, we've got a big screen, as you can see, and that's where they're going to be showing all of the actual cinema bits and pieces. I don't know whether there's going to be talks or not. If there's talks, then I'll try and film the talks. I've tried to position myself just a little out of the way, so I'm not going to be causing any problems. But I've had some people today come over and say thank you for the seminar that I did. So I'm really happy that people here actually remember me doing it, and so it was really good and interesting, so I'm good about that. Very, very happy about that. It looks like there's a lot of people here. Great end to the night, hopefully, great end to the week. But we'll see how it goes. I'm damnably intrigued about how it's all gonna pan out and who's gonna win what. I only saw some of the screening, so there's still loads of stuff that I haven't seen. So I think they're gonna be showing all of the winners of the categories. I don't think they're gonna be doing all the nominations, but I think they might be showing all of the winners. Can't wait to see where it goes, see what happens, see what it's all about.
We have an hour first of, I think it's an hour and 10, maybe an hour and 20, of the Unthinkable team choice, programmer's choice.
Yeah.
And then it'll be followed by a 15-minute break, and then another hour and 10, maybe 20. And then after that, the judges will go out and pick their film, and we'll have something for you in that gap.
What?
But judges, if you can come down, we're really lucky this year to have an incredible range of industry experts, but they are amazing. We've got Vincent Reagan, actor, phenomenal, from Loco. We've got Richie Culver, we've got Stuart Baxter and Rachel Sheehan, and they couldn't be in better hands as your film's judge. Really lucky. They do accept bribes. So if you guys can go out this way, I'll come and get you very briefly. Okay. Can you help me pass out the paper?
Yes.
Cool. I'm just going to keep talking for a minute. Dave's coming down. Maybe I should say a little bit about Unthinkable and the Film Festival. So this is our third year, and we're set up as a charity to support grassroots artists. And we look at film as like not just film. Film is considered the seventh art, which means that like pretty much every other art form is involved inside a film. You got, you know, your actors, you got the music, you know, and your soundtrack. You've got, you know, fine art inspires your framing and your lighting and stuff. It's all pretty interconnected. So as part of the festival, we've always aimed to celebrate all of that. And so this year we've had a plethora of events. We've had like 4 art exhibitions, loads of music events. I'm sorry to say if you didn't see it, it has happened and you've missed it. But it will happen again next year to some extent. But yeah, we're entirely volunteer-led, and all the money from your tickets this evening goes back onto making this evening again next year.
Ooh, hello. I've just popped out while everyone's voting. They've just done all the voting bits and pieces. They're setting up some kind of performance, which is very exciting, and the judges have gone off to make their choices and deliberations, and I have snuck out so I can chat to you. The selection's been amazing. Selection's been absolutely fantastic. Real large variety, and I'm really glad that they've included like some of the erotic films in there as well. I was really worried that they weren't going to include the erotic ones because obviously it's erotic and that always makes things a little bit more interesting. But they included everything, which I was really happy about. Lots of the local stuff, lots of ones that obviously I haven't seen because I haven't been to all of the showings of them, but that was really, really good. A really good, nice little surprise. Nice to see some of the ones that we've already seen back again. And now the judges are off. They have gone off to make their decision. They're setting up some description of performance, and everyone else is making their own feedback form and audience choice as to what has been the winner. So the first half was the selection from Unthinkable. They're the ones that have chosen all the bits and pieces. And then the second half was what the audience picked to be part of it. And now we get to pick, as the audience here, we get to pick of all of the ones. So yeah, it's quite exciting. I'm intrigued for this performance and intrigued by what else is in store. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It's the nature of improv, you know, you never know what's going to happen next. But just lend us your ears.
amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed that. They will be back for one more number after this little hiatus. But without further ado, I'm going to let you guys announce and I'll give you the things. And if the filmmakers are here, please come down and collect your award.
Hello, I'm speaking on behalf of the whole jury for the festival this evening, and I must say I thought all of the films were thoroughly engaging. I wasn't bored for a moment, and I'm usually very bored very quickly. I thought it was a great selection of films. We've got quite a few categories to go through. We've got documentary, we've got animation, we've got narrative, we've got student, we've got local, we've got erotic, and then we've got the overall winner. We come to the overall winner of the best film in the Unthinkable Festival, according to the esteemed jury, and it's Fireworks.
Huge thank you to the festival. This is the first time I've seen it in a cinema. You were the first audience to properly see this movie. I've been dealing with rejections from film festivals for 12 months for this. So, and I flew from Berlin and fucking got here at 4 a.m. and I haven't slept much. So I feel crazy right now, and I'm so happy that I made that decision to come here to Hull. Yeah, thank you. It took 5 years. Fuck, great.
I have found a beautifully lit stairway, but that's it. That is the whole thing. We had an improvised performance. These people are now coming down my stairway. We had an improvised performance from Sonic Sculptures, which was interesting. I've tried to secrete myself into a little corner that's out of the way now. Yeah, really interesting with the whole improvised performance thing, because I wasn't sure that I was enjoying it, but then it was like really interesting because it slowly like blended together and amorphously naturally became something more than itself with all these improvised instruments. It was very surreal, very peculiar, but also quite beautiful in the way that it naturally formed. Wasn't sure I was going to like that, but ended up quite vibing with it, and now I've got some of those songs stuck in my head, if they can be called songs. Can you call them songs? But the award ceremony was great. Fantastic movies. Not any of the ones that I voted for, but maybe I've just got a different taste to what many people have, you know, which is fine. That's alright, we're all allowed different tastes. I like the way that The Thing won the erotic one, because I thought that was the best of the erotic selection, so I'm glad that we were on par with that. But yeah, no, it was really good. It was really good. I really enjoyed myself. I was saying to a lot of the Unthinkable people that I'm so used to being in the stage and cabaret scene that the idea of like doing creative film has never really crossed my mind. It's always been like creative live performance, live streaming, always live stuff, but the actual idea of doing film as a project, as a creative medium, as opposed to like a documenting medium, has not really crossed my mind that much. But it's interesting, it's opened up a whole new world for me, so I've now got the old brain pan thinking, the creative juices are flowing. And I have definitely been inspired. I have been inspired by the whole thing, so it was all very exciting. You know, I'm happy that I've come. I'm happy that I've taken part. I'm happy that I've been part of this entire process and they invited me to be part of this.
And now you have seen the rest of the Unthinkable Film Festival. It's about time that I showed you what we got up to in my little seminar.
I have managed to get another videographer to very kindly capture a whole load of stuff, so let me show you what my talk was all about, shall we? I'll first of all say that normally I'm a cabaret compere, so expect me to be somewhat more flamboyant than your usual educators, as if the jacket didn't give it away. Disclaimer, I'm going to talk about sex, unsurprisingly. I thought the best place to start was actually, what is porn? Well, according to dictionary.com, it is sexually explicit videos, photographs, writings, or the like, produced to elicit sexual arousal. I do want to talk very briefly on where film started. The first ever moving picture was accidentally invented in 1878 by English-American photographer Edward Muybridge, who is this delightfully bearded individual. Yeah, he's nodding at me and everything. And then Lumiere brothers invented the cinematography in 1895, and they presented their first ever projected moving picture in December of 1895. And our first risque movies were displayed less than a year later. Public displays of affection like kissing and holding hands publicly were actually criminal offences and could lead to prosecution. Now we get on to our first erotic movie. I say erotic. Prepare yourselves, all right? It's a little bit saucy, isn't it? Little bit of trivia. The film company that Charles Frohman, who was the theatre manager, went on to produce, he founded the film company, and that went on to become Paramount. So if it wasn't for a scandalous kiss on the screen, Paramount would never have been. Next, we have Le Coucher de la Marie. I will say that with many of these old original black and white movies, it was very hard to get accurate data on all of them because there is a lot of misinformation out there. I found at least 3 films that claimed to be this one. Louise Willy, who was an actress and cabaret performer in a venue known as the Olympia. She was described by local tabloids as barely 20 years old, large sea-coloured eyes, a most dazzling smile in Paris, possesses the wit of the Gavroche and resembles Millie Mayer like a younger sister, but will grow up. This was actually one of the original Blue movies. The actual reason for that being called a little bit of trivia is not entirely known. Some people cite it down to the fact that when they were making celluloid movies, it's often considered to be down to the fact that they tinted the celluloid. A lot of these movie companies, the film companies, actually had their own secret blend of chemicals that they would use to produce the celluloid themselves, and many of them were tinted to create atmosphere, the nighttime, the darkness, the passion. It seems that an awful lot of the erotic ones were often tinted blue, so that's often what many people think of it as why they're called blue movies. The other option is the fact that in the old cinemas, in the old recording studios, should I say, they would have a red light and a blue light at the door. And the red light meant that we're on air. We all have it nowadays. You get the on-air red light that appears in radio and what have you. The blue light meant you could come in. But of course, because a lot of these things were filmed behind closed doors, on the sly, on the secret, they would leave the blue light on so that people didn't think they were doing anything suspect. Oh, I know. Panto audience, I love this. This is fantastic. This is where we get on to what is more commonly thought of as pornography, as in sex on camera. There were 2 films in the running for this first hardcore pornographic movie. They were both laced in mystery. There is a lot of things that are not known about them. I've picked one of them, but I'll quickly talk about them both. Each of them was created sometime between 1907 and 1912, and both were made by unknown directors, unknown producers, and starred unknown actors. No information at all. Don't know who the fuck these people are. Got no idea. So there was Am Abend, which we know was produced in Germany, and El Sicario, which we think was produced in Argentina. I obviously don't have time for both of them, so I'm focusing on El Sicario, because that was the more interesting of the two, in my personal opinion. it gets real filthy in that little bit. There he is. Fitty. And there we have it. That was my little talk and the Unthinkable Film Festival and stuff. As usual, friends, if you would like to find me on other social media, there they are, all of the social medias. You know what to do if you really want to find me that way. But now, I am going to go to the pub with this collective group of individuals. And as always, friends, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Because if I wouldn't do it, it'll fucking kill you.